All right, it is Fundamental Friday. Let me get the comments going. And I am streaming to YouTube as well as Facebook. And I'm just going to shift my camera over just a little bit, make sure I'm in the picture. I am. Thank you. Okay, so it is Fundamental Friday. Today we are going to do a fun fold technique, and we'll just give it a few minutes for everyone to come on. And once you do, please make sure that you let me know where you're from and if this is your first time or not. So welcome. We'll start, let's see, it is 11:59. So I'll give it probably till about 12:03, and then we'll get started. We're only going to do one card, so it'll probably take maybe 30 minutes, if that. Probably 30, because I'll talk too much. Try to get my camera organized. We are live and recording, in case you didn't know. Hey, Marcia, how are you? Good morning. Well, actually, it's afternoon for me. It's 12 o'clock. I'll tell you what, it is so hot. Hey, Karen. Yeah, I'm getting ready for my trip. I've got, everything is packed. My toiletries are packed, so I just have to do the last few things for when we get up tomorrow. I got to take the dog over to the dog sitter by 7, no later than 7-ish, so that I can be back in time, because my husband will freak out if I'm, we have a car picking us up, whatever. But yes, I am ready. I probably have too much stuff in my suitcase. I've already, when you're going for, now I've got to learn to, and I watched one of these flight attendants or not flight attendant, she's the wife of a pilot, and she's always talking about interchanging your clothing, and I still have issues with that. It's hard for me to, wear some, I don't know, it's just weird. But anyway, so I've done better. I did take out 2 pairs of pants and 2 blouses that I didn't need. So I'm going to try to, because we're going to be gone a total of 18 days. We're leaving tomorrow and we come back late the 18th, which, okay, so let's just say 16 days, because those 2 days I'll wear the same thing that I travel in, which is just some comfy pants and a long t-shirt. But the problem is I packed for the ship. Initially, when Chuck read it, said it was like dressy, formal type, not formal, but dressy cocktail type attire. And then he looked at an update and it said that women could wear slacks. So I think I packed 4 dresses that I'll wear twice, because we're going to be on there 9 days. So we'll have 8 dinners, right? And then I do have a little sweatery pantsuit type outfit that I ordered, and I made wear that one night. But anyways, I probably overpacked still. I did bring a couple of short sleeve tops, because the weather now in Copenhagen is like 65 degrees, which that's still too cold for me, but whatever. I'm telling you, we're going to be 3 days. We arrive in Copenhagen, so we're going to stay in an Airbnb for 3 days. Then we get on the ship. We're on the ship for 9 days. And then we end up in Oslo. And then we'll stay another 3 days at an Airbnb. And then we'll come home. And I think it's one of those crazy flights that we don't get in until midnight. Which means that's, I think, a Wednesday night. So Thursday, you'll be dragging patootie. And then Friday I have my Shell Point class at, I think that one's at 1 though. Or 1:30, so I think I'll be fine. But anyways, it's just crazy, but it's okay. I'm fortunate that, you know, we can do the traveling and stuff. And we're trying to knock a lot of this out while we can, while we're younger. You know what I mean? So we might as well take advantage of it. And we're going to do it. And then we have a trip planned to go back to Virginia in September. And that's going to be for like 2 weeks. We're going to make the trek. We're going to go try to see if I can hook up with some of my friends that I worked with or went to school with. And then we're going to Williamsburg area and stay with his brother for a week. And they'll golf and hang out and do all that stuff. And I'll probably just do my own thing. And then we're going to go visit his aunt. And then we got some friends in the middle part of the state. We're going to visit his son, will have a new baby at that time. So, and then we'll come home. Yeah, and then that's it. I told Chuck I don't want to travel anymore until next year when we go to out west. But we should have a good time. Haven't been to Copenhagen or Oslo, so this would be a new experience for both of us. Neither one of us have been there, so that's good. So anyways, all right, let's go ahead and get started. I think we're only going to do one. I'm doing a fun fold technique, and so we're only going to do one card. So this might take 30 minutes. I'm not sure. Now, I do have a video scheduled for next Tuesday, also one for the, let's see, the 4th, the 11th, and I'm going back in my archives when I get done with this recording and try to find something that I've done a while back and just post something that's previously been recorded, not a new recording. So, but the 2 that I have scheduled are new recordings, so make sure that you watch those, and I have a reminder that will go out to remind you to watch as well. All right, so let me do a little bit of housekeeping, and then we're going to get started on the project. Today is the last day of the month. It's May 31st. Can y'all believe that? It is just crazy. Here is my June host code if you are interested and decide you want to place an order with me. And whoops, let me put it here. If you decide you want to place an order, there is the code that you can use. And if you spend $50 or more, I will send you a tutorial bundle. And if you spend less than that, that's okay. You might get something in the mail from me anyways. And then today is the last day for this awesome join order. Hey, Donna, how are you? Hit the right time. Yay! So today is the last day to take advantage of our starter kit special. And I'm sure you've heard about this from everybody and their brother. $207 worth of product that you can get for $99 plus sales tax. Stampin' Up! Will cover your shipping, and you'll get a paper pumpkin. You'll get some business supplies, which means catalogs and order things, but you can do this just to get the discount. It's a 20% discount after you join, and that would run through the end of September. At that time, if you don't want to continue, then you'll just go back to paying full price as a regular customer. So if this is something that you're interested in, make sure that there's a link below the video that I have listed where you can click a button. It will take you right to my join page. And if you have any questions, reach out to me. I will be available throughout today and this evening. And then tomorrow I will be on an airplane heading to Copenhagen. So if you need me, well, I'll still be available by text or email. So don't worry about that. But anyways. So just don't forget about, this is a great special. So if you've got a pretty long shopping list, I'd highly encourage you to think about this. You're going to get all 5 of the new in colors. You're going to get 5 packs of cardstock. You're going to get a pack of 48 sheets of the in colors, designer paper, and you'll get a Stampin' Write marker for each color. So that's an additional 5 markers. So that's $82 worth of value. And then you'll choose $125 worth of product of your choice, okay? All right, so with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I am doing it's a new fun fold, and it's really easy, but I'm gonna show you some new different technique. Now, this is using the Stargazing designer paper that retired. And this is the side right here that's got like stars and stuff on it. I'm going to show you how you can make your own paper. Now, if you have this, by all means, you'd want to use it. But if you don't, I'll just show you a way that you can make your own background paper to make it look like you've got stars. So that's one thing we're going to do as well. So, and I'll give you all the measurements here in just a moment. I'm using Under the Moon, which I did this, I think, a week ago. I love this stamp set. Now, there's no sentiments in it, but there's a lot of great things that you can do with this set. So this one's going to be a little bit different than I did before. And then I'm going to use the Thinking of You stamp in the Coffee with Friends. This did carry over, if I'm not mistaken. I think this one is still active. So those are the two stamp sets. We're going to do some blending. And, well, not blending, but I'm going to show you how we can add ink to our stamp when we want to put multiple colors on it. So our card is set on a base of 5.5 by 4.5. And then we've got a piece on the front. So it's going to open like this. And then we've got the part on the inside. So I thought that was something different. And then the back, I put a larger sheet of white. So if you wanted to write a bigger message. Now you can write a message on here. It's not going to be much, but I went ahead and put a piece of white on the back side. So, and we'll go through that as well. So this is what we're going to be making. So I'm going to set that right here. And let me give you all of the measurements. So give me just a second. All right, so we're going to have our base card, which I'm using, what am I using? Is this Night of Navy? I think, no. Yeah, I think this is Night of Navy. I'm using Night of Navy, 5.5 by 4.5. And then we're going to have a piece of, hold on. We're going to use Pretty in Pink, which is one of our colors that has come back. This piece is 5.25 by 4.25. All right. And then we're going to have a piece of designer paper, which is, if that's at 5, so this would be 5 by 3 and, yeah, actually I did this down, hang on, because I did this one a little shorter. So this is actually 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, but you can make it 3 3/4 by 5. So what this will do is it's going to show, and actually I need to cut this down because you're not going to see that on there. So let's trim this. I cut it a little bit too big. So let me trim this down to, I forgot to cut it down to 3 7/8. So that would probably help, wouldn't it? All right, so let's just trim that little piece off right there. And then let's just make sure that we're at 5 1/8, which we're, let's see, 5 1/8. I'm going to just see if we've got enough. We probably, yep, we just trimmed just enough off to make a little sliver. And if it looks like it's not showing enough pink, then we can trim it down. So let me just make sure that's going to fit on here. And it's going to be a real tight, yeah, I'm going to trim this down a little bit more. I think we better go lean a little bit more to the 3 3/4. So I'm going to make it the 3 3/4 with one extra little notch. So that's going to trim a little bit more off. And let's do the same thing on the top part. We're going to do the 5 + 1 mark. So that's like a 1/16 of an inch. So that's what we're going to take those pieces off, and that should make up. Oh, I forgot. I moved my trash can. Was wondering what I did with it. Okay, so let's see how that works. All right, that's better. So it's 5. Let's just do 5 1/16 by 3 3/4 plus one of those marks on the trimmer. All right, and then that's going to go on here. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we've got a piece of, oh, you know what I did? Hold on a second. Hang on. Ignore me. Start all over. Replay. No wonder it wasn't fitting. I was using the piece that goes on the back of the card. Okay, take 2. Sorry about that. We're going to now, instead of using one little piece of pink, well, we just trimmed it down anyways. It'll be fine. All right, this is 4 by, I want to say it's 8 1/2. Hang on. I guess I should have wrote my notes down. I do have my paper over here. All right, this is 8 1/2 by 4 inches. My apologies. So 8 1/2 by 4, and we're going to score that at 8 1/2 by 4 is going to be scored at. We're going to score it at 5 1/4 and 2 1/2. So let me bring this back in because we want it to fold. All right. So hang on a second. We're doing a 4 by 8 1/2. Scored at 5 1/4 and 2 1/2 because we want it to bend, and then we want the other part. So we're going to do 5 and, hang on a minute, I got to look at my notes. We're going to, all right, 5 1/4 So we're going to score it here. Make sure I move my blade out of the way. All right, 5 1/4. And then we're going to, 5 1/4. So that's going to give us our little flap in the front, okay? So that piece, my apologies, and we're going to do another score here in just a minute. All right, so this is going to go on here. So this piece will go on our Night of Navy, and then that's where we will bring in our piece of designer paper. All right, so that's going to go just like that. So it's cut down a little bit. That's okay. So we're going to see a little bit more pink, which is fine. No big deal. All right, so that's going to go like that. Then we're going to take another piece of Pretty in Pink, and this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. No, I'm sorry. Scratch that again. I'm trying to read my handwriting. 2 1/2 by 8 1/2. Good Lord. 2 1/2 by 8 1/2, and that's going to be scored at 4 1/4. So let's go ahead and do that. So 2 1/2 by 8 1/2. So we're going to score that. 8 1/2 would be 4 1/4, right? Good Lord. Okay. I've got it together. All right, so we're going to score that at 4 1/4, and this is what's going to go on the front piece that's going to pop in side of our card, okay? So far so good. And then we'll put all this together. So let's go ahead and start that, and before I give you some more measurements. All right, so this is our 8 1/2 by 4, and we scored it at 5 1/4, so that gives us a short piece, right? So let's go ahead and put our adhesive on this. And I'm going to show you when we get done how you can make paper that looks like it's got stars on it, okay? So don't let me forget, but I should remember because I got my ink and brush over there ready. I thought I had this thing squeezed in where I could, I guess I'm going to pull the other one in. Hang on a minute. Let me switch out my glues. All right, let's put some adhesive on here. I don't know what it is with me and glue lately. It just doesn't want to cooperate, does it? All right, that should be enough to hold us on there. Okay, so 5 1/2 by 4 1/2. And then this is 4 by 8 1/2 scored at 5 1/4. Right? 4 by 8 1/2 scored at 5 1/4. All right, so that's going to go there. And then this is our piece of designer paper. And now I've cut this at 3 3 3/4 plus 1 mark, and the same on the side would be 5, right about 5 inches. All right, so that's going to go right here. So that's going to give it the sky effect. All right, so we're going to cover this pretty side up. Get my, I'm going to have to bring over my glue from the other table because this one doesn't want to cooperate. Give me a second. Let me grab this guy. Oh, I'm sorry. My husband's calling me. He should know better. All right, so we're going to add some adhesive. Hopefully that didn't knock us off the line. It looks like we're still recording. All right, so this piece we're going to place right here. And I'm going to put it up a little bit closer towards the top where we have a nice border. I'm not going to be too concerned about the bottom part because you're not going to really see that much, okay? All right, so there's that. Now we've got another piece of the stargazing paper, which kind of looks like it's water. So that I chose that one. And again, use whatever paper, however you want to do this. It doesn't have to be nighttime, but my scene looks like it's at night. So that's why I chose this. But you can use whatever paper you want and design it accordingly. Okay, let me get this over here. Let me move that out of the way. Okay, so this piece is going to go on the front of this. Oh, and I didn't tell you the size, did I? All right, hang on a minute. Let me get that on there. All right, this is 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. It looks like. Let me make sure. 3 1/8. I'm sorry. So that's at 3 1/8. All right, and then that's going to go right there. Okay, doke. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is we've got 2 pieces of basic white, and these are 4 1/8. I know I'm using really weird numbers, huh? 4 1/8 by 2 2, it's 1 mark less than 2.5. So it's like 2 3/8 plus 1, give or take. It'll be fine if you go a little bit because it's going to go on that long skinny piece right here. Okay, so you'll have 1 on the inside and 1 on the outside of your Pretty in Pink. All right, so what we're going to do is now we're going to make our scene. So I'm going to set this paper off to the side, and we're going to bring in our ink and our stamps, and we're going to do some stamping. So I'm going to do the front of the card first. So we're going to do our water, which I did this before, right? When we did this, what, I think it was a week or so ago, wasn't it? Got some, all right, so, okay, so we're going to stamp in Misty Moonlight, and let me move some of these out of the way. I'll pull those back in just a minute. This guy we're going to put over there. All right, so we're going to do Misty Moonlight, and I'm using the water image, so we're going to ink this up, and we're going to have the water, make sure I get on there. All right, and then this is, obviously it's going to go off the page, but we're going to bring this all the way down, almost to the bottom, so it looks like the water's on the edge, and we'll let that sit for just a minute. All right, so there's our water. All right, and then let's clean this off. Give me 1 second here. All right, now we're going to close this one up. We're going to come in with our sun, whatever. This is the one that we used before. And it's, oh, wait, this is not the one. Hang on. That's not the one. Hold up. Wrong one. That's going to go on the inside. This is the one that we used. This is the one that's got the sun, and then it's got the color. We're going to do this coral. We're going to do this daffodil. Did I bring in the daffodil? No, I did not. Hang on. Let me grab my daffodil. That would be helpful. I got everything else ready. Hold on. You can tell I'm a little oops, I almost pulled in. All right, here we go. Here we go. All right, so since this is, now you saw how I did it the last time. The last time I did this, I just kind of laid this in here to try to get it to where I wanted it. So I'm going to put some ink on this where I know I can get it. But the easier way that you can do that, one, you can use markers, but I personally don't like to use the markers on photopolymer because they just don't seem to, the ink doesn't seem to take. So we're going to take a sponge. You can do a sponge dauber if you have one, or just use a regular blending brush. So I'm just going to put some yellow, some Daffodil Delight on here, and I'm just going to sponge the area that I want my sun, right? The color right there. So I'm just going to sponge it, and you don't have to rub it. We can just tap it in there. Make it as light or as dark as we want, right? All right, so I've got that. Now I'm going to come back and give it, because this is going to be a nighttime scene. So we're going to give it some corally look. So Calypso Coral's going to come in. And we're going to do this half right down here. All right, so you see where the yellow goes, right? No, you can't see that. So I'm going to do this section down here is going to be coral. So it's going to make it look like the sun's setting and everything is turning kind of orangey. So we are going to use, let me see, I've got, why do I have, hang on, I'm looking at my sponges here and wondering why I'm missing one. All right, we'll use this one for our coral. Now, this is the small blending brush, so you could do the same thing. You could just use small ones if you have those. So whatever works for you. Sponge daubers are good because you can put those on your fingers. And I'm just going to add the ink and tap it in here. So even if it comes out splotchy, you know, it's okay because it's the sun that's, you know, actually setting. So this is like the sky with the fire. All right. Let's see if we want to put some more. All right, I think that's good. Okay, so let me close this up. And I'm going to have to grab, no, I won't. I think we're good. Okay. All right, so we're going to, let me move this out of the way so I don't get stuff all over it. All right, so we're going to stamp this. I'm going to huff on it because I'm going to moisten the ink. And then I'm going to stamp right on the edge of the water. So I'm going to bring my stamp down right centered where it's right touching that water line. And then I'm going to push it. I'm going to let it sit for just a second. And that's kind of light. Now I should have darkened it more, but you know, it's okay. It's no big deal. We'll work with that. Now I'm going to come back with my yellow And I'm going to come right down here in the blue. Let me just move this in just a little bit so y'all can see. So I'm going to take my sponge blending brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit of sun yellow right in this area here to make it look like the sun is reflecting. So there, that you can make yourself look like it's got a reflection there. So let me bring this up. I should have, if I could stamp over this, you know what, we could try that. See that and how it looks like the sun's reflecting in the water? Just take a little bit and brush it over there. Now we could, you know, we could actually, because this might be pretty easy to line up, I could do this again on the back, but I think we'll go with that. That'll be fine. It's not quite as dark as I wanted it to be, but it will be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so let's move on. Now we're going to do some clouds, and we're going to use fresh freesia. And then I'm going to come in with, let's see, fresh freesia. I need to get, hang on a second, I got to grab another brush. I thought I had one. Hold on. I got to move my trash can out of the way. Might as well use this one. This is when we were doing the other one the other day, all that coloring. Okay, so we're going to do fresh freesia. Oh, I don't need that right now. I need it for the other thing. All right, so we are going to do the clouds. Now, there's two sets of clouds in here, and I am going to use this one. Is this the one I want? Yeah. All right, so we're going to use this cloud here. Now, I'm going to stamp off because I don't want this all the way over there. I'm going to make it look like there's two separate clouds. So I'm going to place this one probably, I'm just trying to guess here. Let's put it right about like that. And this is going to look a little, because you see the clouds, and I'm going to just kind of come in, and I'm just going to do the back side of this because I don't want the whole thing. But this is a different this is going to look like the clouds already passed by. So I'm going to take this one and place that right about, I'm going to go up, no, maybe I'll come, yeah, let's go up here because we don't want to have anything open space. All right, so that's how I did my clouds, okay? And we could have softened those up a little bit, but I think that looks fine because you know how the darkness does tend to make things look a little different in color. All right, give me 1 second, let me clean this off. All right, now I'm going to come in with my Misty Moonlight, and I am going to, I'm going to do a little bit of sky at the top, so I'm just going to real lightly, I'm not going to do a lot, so I'm just going to do a little tappy and take some of this off. I just want to make it, give it some blue, a little bit of sky look in the back. Just don't want to make too much darkness here, so we're just going to lightly blend over the white, and if I cover up some of the clouds, it's fine. And it's going to be really light, so you're probably not going to be able to see it. I'll hold it up for you in just a second. I'm just starting out with light because I really don't want to get too much dark blue on here, but I do want to look like there is some blue sky in the background so it doesn't look like it's completely white. So we'll put a little bit over here behind and underneath the clouds. And I'm just taking my brush and trying to swirl it lightly so that we kind of get that look. And I'm going to come down here a little bit around the sides too. Okay, just a little. It's however you want to put your spin on it, right? All right, I think that looks fine. I'm going to try to bring this down a little bit. I got a little bit too much right there, but I'm not going to be too concerned about that. But don't you love this, the light, how it just makes it look like it's shining through? Isn't that nice looking? Right there. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now we're going to stamp our sentiment. And I'm going to stamp Thinking of You. Hopefully I can get it in here where it's not going to look too dark. All right, so we're going to take that and we're going to stamp that right. Let's see. Hopefully I got this thing on here straight. All right, we're going to put Thinking of You right here. There we go. And then we need to stamp our dolphin. Now, there is a boat, so you can put the boat in there if you wanted. I'm just going to do this dolphin as if he's coming out of the water. So I'm just going to put him like that. So I've got him like he's coming out. So I did him in the same Misty Moonlight. Okie doke. All right, so now that's what we've got for the front of our card. So we can go ahead, we'll add that in just a minute. Well, let's go ahead and add it now. So we've got our front piece. So we're going to go ahead and just glue this down. Isn't that pretty with the pretty in pink? I forgot about that pink paper. I'm glad it came back. All right, so let's go ahead and glue this to the front, and then we're going to do the inside of the card. Whoops, I think I put a little bit too much glue on that one. Got a little heavy-handed there. All right, so we're going to glue this here. This is really an easy card. So, and even if you just use some other kind of stamp, you could do a real nice like plant scene or something. You can make it a cute little birthday card as well. All right, so there's that. All right, now we're going to come in with our other same size piece of basic white, and we're going to stamp the other, which I think this is like the world stamp. It looks like the world, and let me show you. It's this one right here. So this is one that we're going to use. All right, and then that one we're going to stamp, and we're going to do that in Smoky Slate. So let's bring in Smoky Slate, and let's see how that's going to work, huh? Let's see, let me move all this out of the way. Okay, so we're going to stamp him on Smoky Slate. Hopefully we can get it all covered. So I'm just going to push my stamp down, kind of get it in the ink pad. You know, these stamps, they've got the little bit of roughness, and it looks like in the background, I guess to give it that look. And so when you do it, see how you get some light and dark pieces. But I just want to make sure I got ink on some of these areas. All right, so this might be a little bit too dark in some areas, but that's okay because it's supposed to be, this is the moon, and it looks big. And we're gonna, oh, you know what? Before I do that, I got to do my water scene again. Hang on. I forgot. We got to have water. We got to have the moon over the water. So we're going to come down here and we're going to stamp the water again. All right. Whoops. You know what? We'll just come back. We can just add a little bit right there so we can kind of cover up. Let's cover up some of that blue because it doesn't have to be exact, right? We'll just, there we go. That'll be fine. That will be fine. All right, now we're going to come in with our Smoky Slate. And I'm re-moistening it. And then I'm going to have this as if it's right at the tip of the water. So I'm just eyeballing to make it slightly over that water line. So it looks like it's coming up. All right. And I'm just going to let this sit for a minute. There we go. So it's got, you know, the light through it and all of that. So that just gives you some different, let me close this up. Just gives you some different views of what the world, you know, how we're looking at the world. Now we're going to come in with another stamp that's going to say, let's get together soon. And it's from the same Coffee with Friends. So let me get that. And we're going to stamp that inside the moon. Let's get together. Let me make sure I've got it straight. All right, so we're going to stamp that in Misty Moonlight. So everything is kind of in the Misty Moonlight. And again, you can use whatever colors you want to use. All right, so we're going to stamp that. Let me see. Okay, this one I think is a little crooked. All right, so here we go. We're going to stamp that right about here. So this should show pretty well. Yeah, it's a little crooked, but you know what? It's okay. You know how I am. It will be fine. That's going to be my saying, right? All right, and then the other thing we've got to do is we're going to do one more dolphin, just because we can. And this guy, let's see, how did I do him on the front? We've got him a little bit. Let's have him, I think I'm going to have him come in, maybe have him over, like he's coming over the moon, you know, coming under, like that. There we go. We'll do that. Okay, so now this one we'll go ahead and place on the inside of our card. So we'll do that right there. So let's add our adhesive. Oh, thank you so much. I love this. Whoopsie. I love anything beachy, and I think Karen does too. You know, when you live on the coast, you know, just like people that live in the Midwest or whatever, near farms, they like farmland and all that. And they'll still like beaches, but I've always been a fan of the beach. Okay, so that's going to go over like that, all right? And then we're going to take, and we're going to, before we do that, let me go ahead, I'm going to lay this flat because I want to add the back pieces, and then we'll add that. So we've got the piece that I initially told you about, which goes on the back, but you don't have to add it if you don't want to. This is 4 by 5 1/4. Make sure it's 5 1/4 before I lie to you. It's 5 1/8. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to add this down to the back side to give it some color, because that's where we're going to put our piece that you can write as your sentiment. We're going to put a piece of white on here. All right, so that's going to go there. And then this white piece is 3 3/4 by, yeah, this is going to be short, a little bit under 5, and that should give us just a little bit of a pink border. All right, so then we'll go ahead and add this piece down, and this will be where you can write your message. And we'll lay that right here. I want to do this before I stuck the other inside card, because it'd be kind of bulky. All right, so we've got that there. We'll shift it up just a little bit. All right, so there's where we can write our message, and you can stamp something back there as well. And then this piece, we're going to go ahead and add to the inside and have it fold over. So the first thing that I want to do, and I'm going to hold this up, I'm not going to attach it yet. I want to see where I need to place it so I can get my card, you know, where it's going to be somewhat even. So I'm just eyeballing it, and I'm looking at these stars right here, so I know I can place it somewhere in that area. So I'm going to place it right about there and try to make sure it's centered, and lay that right there. All right, and then this piece is going to come up and then fold like that. So there is our card. So when the person receives it, they're going to open this up and then open that and have 2 messages. And it's a really easy card. Now, let me show you one thing as far as if you don't have, you want to have stars or something on your paper. I'll show you how you can make that. If you have white craft ink, let me put that right there. If you have white craft ink, you can use your black paper, navy blue, whatever you want. This is just one of our water painters. And I just got my, the tip is wet just a little bit, just enough to, and then I'm just going to take my Whisper White craft ink, and I'm going to dab it on here. And I'm going to make sure, let me get a little bit of water in here. There we go. All right, not that I want it wet, but I want to pick up some water. So I'm just going to kind of dab it. And just like you do with your markers, just flick it and see how you can start making, well, let's get some more ink on it. We'll get a lot of ink. And then just start flipping. You know, you can start flopping it and see how it's spreading the harder. There you go. See, and you can make, we can kind of make a sky with, looks like little tiny stars. And then you can actually, you can come back and you can just take a little dab, and you can just make a little blotch if you want, like a little bit bigger star. Just put a quick little tab. Don't make it spread. And just make some bigger stars that are around. And then the other thing you can do is if you have a star punch, like I've got the old witch's hat, you could punch out some really tiny stars and then glue those on the back if you want to do that. No one's going to know the difference. So see how you can make your own star paper? And that's going to be in the background. And granted, you probably don't want that many big stars in one place. You probably want to put one up here, one there, and one down at the bottom. But that gives you an idea of how you can do it. Just get any whatever pen, something that you have that you can dip into the ink, and then just splot it on there. And then it gives you the look of stars. And then you could use that as your background. All right, so there is that. All right, so let me pull and bring the card back in. I'm cleaning off my water painter so I get the ink off of it. Okie doke, so let me bring in the card one more time and show you what we've done here. And which one, now I don't remember which one is which. It's got to be this one because this one's lighter. Nope, it's this one. All right, so this is our card for today. Thank you for sharing, Judy. All right, so there we've got our Fresh Freesia clouds. We've done a little bit of misty moonlight in the background for some sky. We've got this Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, where we used our blending brushes, tap it on there. So as you can see, if you want more ink, if you want that sun to be darker at the top, then we need to add more ink. And then just keep dabbing it in that same area, and that should start making it darker. And then Calypso Coral. And then we took our brush and just put a couple little swipes right there to give it the effect of the sun reflection. Thank you. And then open it up, and then there's the moon that's rising as well over the ocean. Whoops, put it like this so y'all see it. Okay, everybody, that's it for Fundamental Friday. Thank you so much for spending about 40 minutes with me. I appreciate it. As I said, I will be gone. I'll be back on the 19th, but I do have a how to create your own pattern paper will be next Tuesday. I have that scheduled at 7 o'clock. It's pre-recorded. And then the 11th, I also have a, I'm trying to think of what it is. Oh, the book I was telling you about, how to cover a 5x7 notepad. So that's on June 11th. You might want to make sure you watch that. Of course, it'll be on Facebook or on YouTube. And the 18th, I think, is the last Tuesday, or no, whatever that last Tuesday is. I'm working on trying to find something that's been pre-recorded because I don't have time to make a new video. So anyways, thank you guys. I hope you've enjoyed this card and the technique. And I will see you all, excuse me, I'll see you all back. I'll be live back, and I'll be back on the night of the 18th. But make sure you watch June 4th and the 11th, because those are new recordings that I've done just for you all. And the 18th, hopefully I'll find something that I can put up there for you as well. All right, thanks again, everyone. I greatly appreciate you spending time with me. Have fun, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you when I return.